Hello traders, welcome here on my YouTube channel. My name is Peter and some of you may know me by my pen name Hiking Ashi Trader. I would like to talk about an issue which might sound like a provocation to you. So the title of this video is Why I Do Not Day Trade Anymore. I was a day trader one day. Especially when I started 20 years ago. I started to trade 2001, and indeed I started as a day trader trading mainly German stocks, so mainly the stocks of the German DAX, and I did not trade American stocks. I did not day trade them, but I tried to become successful and profitable by trading German stocks. Well, later on I started to trade futures. I traded the German Bund future, I traded the Dow mini future and also the DAX future, and even I trade Forex, and I will be brutally honest to you. Yes, I had successes. Some days I made money, other days I did not make money, but in a whole I can say I wasn't really successful as a day trader. Of course, this is my story and it doesn't have to mean that it is your story. There are day traders who are very successful and who are doing very well on the stock market, no question. But in my experience, and after 20 years, I talked to a lot of traders, a lot of colleagues who are trading, a lot of brokers, especially brokers. And it's really interesting if you talk with brokers about day trading, because there you get the real information about statistics, about how many traders are really successful. And what I mean with really successful as a day trader on the long term, some traders may be profitable for a specific period of time. For instance, when their strategy is in line with the actual market. But as we all know, volatility can change on the market, and many strategies which are profitable at this moment can become unprofitable in 1 or 2 or 3 months or in 1 or 2 years. That's the reality of the stock market. So the problem is you have to adapt all the time your strategy and adapt to the actual market situation. And as far as I know, and the people who are really successful on the long term, this is a very, very small group of people, believe me. I do not say you cannot do it, but it's a really, really hard thing to do on the long term. And when I'm speaking of the long term, if you think about starting a career as a day trader, you have to think in periods of not only 1 or 2 years, but 10, 20, 25 years from now. So that's one point. The next point in regards to day trading, which I would like to emphasize, is, look, day trading, I know that a lot of people have the dream of becoming a day trader, and it's a dream about freedom, and I understand this. I also had this dream when I started 20 years ago. A life of freedom, you are the boss yourself. There is no organization, there is no boss who is saying to you, you have to do this or that. You're deciding yourself. You decide when to trade, what to trade, and how many hours you're going to trade a day. So it sounds very, very appealing to many people, especially young people. I understand that. I had this dream myself. But the point is, if you look at it, just from a side point of view, it's a simple day job, day trading. You go to your office, and it's of no importance if this office is somewhere in the town you live or if this office is at your home. You just go in the morning to the office and you're working 8 or 10 hours on your computer, hoping to make some money, and you go back home maybe after 7, 8 or 10 hours of work, and you come home and that's it. So it's just a day job. And the difference between being a day trader yourself at home or in an office with other traders is it's a day job with a lot of more stress than in most other day jobs. So think about that. Is it really that what you want to do? Especially when you're getting older. If you have the age like I am in, I'm 50 plus, it's not that easy anymore. I think if you want to day trade and you are young and you think you can do it, go for it, do it. Yeah. But I started in my mid-30s, so I was quite old to start. I remember I had a conversation with two forex traders who worked in London, in the city, in the 90s. I wasn't a day trader at that time. I didn't think about day trading. They were about in their mid-30s, and that was the time they stopped, and they made their millions when they were in their 20s. Okay, so they made their fortunes. One of those traders had a big land house outside of London, and he showed me pictures of this house, and there was a very nice room with a big billiard table where he invited his old friends. And with his old friends, I mean people who were in their 20s and now were in their 30s. And they were all retreated because they made a fortune in their 30s. So think about that. For young people who have a lot of energy and who start their lives, and it might be an idea, but it's really tough, believe me. It became tougher from year to year, more and more. And I do not say it's not possible, but you have to think about in which age are you now? Are you 20, 25? Or are you like me, 30, 35, 38 when I started? So I'm really honest, I wasn't successful with day trading. I started to have success with trading when I started to scalp, but that's another story. Maybe I will make a video about that, how I discovered scalping for myself. It's not the same thing as day trading. It's a completely different game. Okay. After 20 years of being a trader, in my experience, there are two really good ways to make money on the stock market. Either you do it very short term by being a scalper, and so going into the market for a couple of minutes, sometimes even seconds. So very, very short term, and you do this for 2 or 3, maximum 3 hours a day. You can be very successful with that. And after that, you stop, you close your computer, and you're done for the day. Or you're trying to be an investor. And what do I mean with that? You're trying to invest like a long-term investor. You buy stocks, and you just buy stocks and forget about them. Okay. A friend of mine called me a couple of months ago, and I know he has a stock portfolio, and he had some money because he has a company, and well, he had to do something with his money, and part of it he invested in the stock market. And he asked me to look at his portfolio. Okay, and okay, I went to him and he showed me his positions. This friend only bought stocks and never sold any stock. And the worth of this portfolio was at that moment 3.4 million euros. 3.4 million euros. He started to invest in stocks. By the way, he had a lot of funds too, so most of these positions were very conservative. He didn't have any Nasdaq stocks, so not kind of fancy things, not Amazon, no Facebook or things like that. Very conservative portfolio. A lot of this is invested in funds, just mutual funds, and he has gains of about 1 million euros. So you could say, okay, the markets were good, no question. Recent years it was not difficult to make money, but he just bought funds and stocks and made gains about 1 million euros. So in my view, this way to go, if you want to make money in the stock market, just invest on the long term. You can also invest in cryptocurrencies, whatever you like. Most investors made money on the stock market by simply investing for the long term and just keeping the stocks for the very, very long term. That is my experience. Or what you can do too is scalping. But then you have to work very concentrated for 1 or 2 hours and scalp really, really with a very good strategy. And that's another way to make money in the stock market. Look, talk with psychologists and ask them how long a person can be concentrated on one thing. And they always say maximum 90 minutes. That's look at yourself and observe yourself how long you really can be concentrated doing one thing. And you will see 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, but after then you have to make a break. And that is my recommendation.